Hello there, I'm Dejan and welcome to a new video. So this is the tier list that you see pop in the channel a couple of days ago. If you haven't, please go and check it out. It's probably the fastest tier list you're gonna ever see in your life. It's actually very fun. Now, today I want to go through this tier list, starting to the bottom and going to the top, and talk about a nerf that every character should need. Basically, I'm gonna go one character by one, and I'm gonna basically try to mention what is the move that probably needs a bit of toning down, even if the characters are low tier, because in Tekken 8 there are characters that even if they are low tier, they still have moves that just outshine the complete moveset that they have. Before I start, one more time, thank you guys. It's always so nice to see that every video of mine that I release is so well received and it gets interaction, comments, likes. Thank you, especially for the comments. That's the best thing. Seeing discussion after my video, it's what I really want to see, what to bring. I want to bring growth in this community, and there is always growth through conversation. So thank you for every single one of you that took the time to write and type something, especially if it was a constructive comment and generating some nice and interesting debate. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, especially if you watch a couple of my videos. It helps grow the channel, it helps support it and bring more stuff like this. Yeah, remember, don't turn on the bell. I don't want to bother you with notification. I just want to be sure that when you open YouTube, I might be there with a new video that you might be interested in, and that's it. Now, let's start. As I said, we're gonna go bottom to top. So, Panda. Now, Panda is probably, the only problem that I really see with Panda is the combo damage, is spike combos. Spike combos sometimes always be in Tekken and everything. Fang was very much example or instance of this in Tekken 7, which is down back 1+2 into guarantee shoulder, no scaling. And that's basically the same thing here with their big booty. I think that the combo does just way too much damage. And is like the highest damaging combo and is very reliable. It should be kind of a 50-50 situation, like you can go for it, and if you wake up in the wrong way, the boot is gonna hit you and you're gonna die for it, or there are way around. But that's the only thing I really would think Panda would need to change. And for the rest is actually fine. It's very gimmicky, but that's the bears, that's how they want to play. It's more about really how unfair feels to get launched by these guys, especially because they have a 10-frame counter launcher. Devil Jin is mostly okay. It's very gimmicky-ish Mishima as well, mainly ranked. If you're a very strong player, you know how to move around that. But I think there is charge punch. I think is down back 1+2 or back 1+2. It feels a bit too strong. And I mean that is so strong that basically is the main reason why this character is still alive. And not just when he's guard breaking full charge, but as well when he's just half charge and it just makes you bounce on the wall and make you guess again. It makes it very boring and it flats out the experience in my opinion, and you should need some balancing around it and some adjustment. It needs buffs around and other things. I'm not saying it doesn't need buff, I'm just saying that move at the moment, it feels like too much. Leroy. Now, Leroy is probably, there is absolutely nothing that really pops in my mind. I find it again a kind of, I'm not a fan of his mid-low, low-mid, mid-low, low-mid way of putting pressure, jumping in and out his eremit stance, but that's how he's built around. But that's not too strong. There are way around it anyway. But apart from that, I really don't see a thing that outshines all his rest of the toolkit, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, and this is the perfect instance of the difference between the two. It's like, his moves are, you can use most of his moveset depending on the scenario that you're into, and they're all gonna be valuable. This guy, when you get to the wall, when you close to the wall, you wanna push to the wall and everything, or you knock down your opponent, you can just charge you just go with the charge punch, and well, that's your solution. Jun, really, again, not much to say. I think that once they nailed the fact that its mesh should not track, that was the biggest issue that there was with the character. I think probably, but that's a general technical thing, low its mesh should never be something like -12, like her. So yeah, that's probably the only thing I would really change. In my opinion, low its mesh should be all -15 because it's a very high damaging, unseeable low one button move, so they should not be so rewarding. Maybe hers, like between the two, and I'm gonna get to Paul as well. Between the two of I think they're the two safest in Smash. June's is a bit more justified because you can predict it a bit more, because it comes out of stance. And that's maybe, I can see maybe not being -15. But I think a -12 is a bit too much, it's too safe. For just the strong low that it is. Jack, honestly, Jack, I don't see anything that is a bit too much. I don't like how much the guaranteed follow-up after the backbreaker. I'm really not a fan of it, but at the end of the day, it is a throw that is seeable. It's not a real mix-up throw, you just have to break the throw and you're fine. So I really don't see anything that should need. The character, in my opinion, is in a pretty good state. Raven. Now, Raven, same thing. I don't think there is anything major that needs to be changed with him. Like, anything doesn't have this massive extra strong power button. And what I will say about Raven is that he is, in my opinion, the perfect Tekken 8 character. Because when you play against Raven, he's not a hit. He feels like a very normal character. He feels human. He doesn't feel like that strong. He feels like he cannot just do too much bullshit without getting punished for it. But when he goes in it, he really powers up. And he has that 15, not 10 seconds where you cannot do anything and it's just gonna rush you down like that for that. And I think the only problem probably is the hit moves should consume more hit bar, but that's a general thing of the game. I don't think that only his hit move should consume more power. I think everyone's hit moves, even my Brian. Brian's hit moves should consume more power, because hit should be way more as a very important resource, and really you want to use this hit move very mindfully and not just be allowed to throw them out as much as you can and spam them, which is the case with Raven. But apart from that, you really see the difference between him out of it and him in hit, and that's why I think he's the perfect Tekken 8 character as a design. Azucena, same thing. I don't think there is a move that feels too much now. Her mix-up can be annoying, but I think her mix-up is way less annoying than these guys. So, no, absolutely not. Don't think there is a move that needs to be nerfed or anything. She is fine. Asuka. Now, on Asuka, I have two moves that I really don't like, and I think that at least, like, probably the one that should go is her, what is her low sweep? I think it's her down two, I don't remember. But it's basically the one that if you get some counter it, she gets the guaranteed knockdown follow-up, and she gets the guaranteed follow-up after that. It's like having that guarantee from a very fast, unseeable counter it, high crushing low, it's boring, and I think it's too much. I don't agree as well with her Nani Wagusto running 1+2, the mid natural hit launcher. I think that one should give a guaranteed follow-up, a very good guaranteed follow-up, like the one that you get out of his down 4-1-4, something like that in the range of damage, but not a natural hit launcher. A counter hit launcher, absolutely fine. A natural hit launcher, just because I'm ducking to try to avoid your down 1+2 mix-up, feels a bit like nah. But mainly is her down so low that I really don't like. Now Lydia and Eddie, because these two characters, they're basically kind of the same. We could speak about them at the same time. So the only thing I really will change, you actually cannot even think about something that you will just change, because their problem is that they are doomed by their archetype. They are the 50-50 king. It's all about flipping a coin as much as you can. You think it's with this guy, but no, this guy is flipping a coin on fundamentals. But this guy is just blindlessly flipping coins. And having this kind of archetype puts in a situation that if your opponent gets wrong, you just keep on pressing button. If your opponent gets right, you are dead. So I think that the only problem that there is with these two guys is they're very boring, at least to my eyes. I'm sorry, I see them very boring, both of them. And the fact that they came out together in the same season pass, or character pack, or whatever you want to call it, it probably brings down a bit the level of the character pass. I'm sorry. And it's not about the designs of the characters, I love them, especially Lydia. I did Shotokan for almost 15 years, so I love this character. But then he always comes down, especially in fighting games, to how a character plays, and they're not that enjoyable. Lars. Now, Lars is as well one of these 50-50 guys, but it feels a bit less mindless 50-50 compared to them. The only thing I will change of him, that I think needs to be changed, and it's not because he's even too strong, is his what is silent entry 3 or dynamic entry 3 is mid-homing crazy plus kick, jumping kick. The move that I always complain about. And it's not even because the move is too strong, because at the end of the day, if you hit the low, you just hit the low, and the low doesn't do that much damage. It's just because it flats out the experience so much. It's just like, okay, you're in dynamic entry, do a 3 and then go into a mix-up. Do a 3 and do into a mix-up. You cannot do, your opponent cannot do anything, literally cannot do anything. In that mix-up, he even has a power crusher, someone there's to challenge him, but there is no reason to challenge him because it's gonna crush you anyway. So, boring. That's the only real problem. I think it flats out the experience. Zafina, I don't think she needs... It doesn't have a move that is just too much. That's the point. She's fine. Steve. Now, Steve, probably the only thing I think it really needs some toning down. It feels a bit too much. Is Lionheart back camp. The difference between his Lionheart back camp and his Fang back camp, which is used to be considered the strongest of all the campos that are in the game, because as well Leo has one, Nina arguably has one, way weaker, Jean has one, way weaker, Jean has even that one, is that Fang back camp, once you use it, it steps back completely, but then if you don't press, it goes back forward. So it creates the space, but then it destroys it, and you are back into the pressure, okay? With Steve, that does not happen. He goes back in Lionheart, and you don't press. He's not gonna come back to eat your jabs and your punishes and your check. He stays back there. He's just ways away, and he stays there. And that's the most annoying thing I think ever of that. That's what I think makes it very annoying to deal with as well. Is that he creates the space, but then if he doesn't commit to it, he doesn't have to close it. He stays there. So that's the only change I will try to find a way to, I don't know, don't have it this like just free space creator that is Lionheart. For the rest, the character is absolutely fine. You cannot say anything. It's so difficult to play. But that feels a bit just not interesting. Warang, I said it many times, I think this is the best Warang there has ever been, especially for how everyone was afraid this would have been a nightmare, considered the highest and crazy pressure that he had in Tekken 7, but they did a great job. It feels annoying sometimes when you get rushed down, but it's a very strong rush down character. That's how it works. It comes there, comes close to you, and it just puts pressure. That's the kind of character that he is. But it feels like sometimes when you lose, you don't feel like, oh, he won because he did some bullshit. You feel like, okay, I read the situation wrong. So, just big plus on how they made this character. I like him very much. Leo, I just don't like the same thing as her. Is low count rate into guaranteed hit engager. That's the only thing. Especially because it's such a fast one. But apart from that, I mean, you don't play that much against this character, so it's fine. Reina, I think Reina is fine, honestly. I don't have anything to say about her. I really cannot think of a move that is just, it feels just like it should not be there, it's too much. Or anything like that. I think she's fine. Paul, I really don't like his low hit smash. Now, granted it is. So low relies a lot on having his strong 50-50 up close with his Demo Man and his Death Fist or down for 2 or whatever you want to use when you're whatever mid you want to use when you're up close. The point being that Demo Man needs to be up close because he only launches you on clean hit, otherwise then nothing happens. When he gets into hit, he gets a guaranteed wall crush 12 frame, minus 12 powered up Demo Man. And for wall crush I mean that he wall breaks. It doesn't wall splat, but it wall breaks. and he's -12. And he can launch it from everywhere. The difference between these two is that she needs to go into the stance. And if you don't go into the stance, if you don't create the right opening to go into the stance, you're always gonna be anyway in a risky situation. While this guy can just, you know, press one button. And in this game there are more stages with wall interaction than without, so yeah, fun. I really don't like that design. As a general thing, low width smash has been even considered, like, for me a 12 frame punchable low width smash, it's basically safe. It feels almost basically safe. If it was 13, it's different. 12, it's just too much. Lee, not really. Actually, probably needs something that makes it a bit more interesting. Back 33 is stupid, but if you cannot nerf that move, is alright. At the end of the day, is alright as a character. Nothing to say. Lili, I still think sometimes her vector mix-up feels too much. There's nothing close to what she was at the beginning. But apart from that, again, nothing really crazy. She's a very complete character. Like, it's still like, I'm still surprised about how only few people speak so high about this character. This character is crazy strong. Heihachi is like, if it wasn't from most of the pilots getting completely brain farting once they go into Warrior Instinct. Warrior Instinct, everyone would complain about Warrior Instinct way more. But the fact is, whenever everyone goes in Warrior Instinct, the opponent is like, if you're against Warrior Instinct, you become the sharpest creature alive. You are like the lowest mammal on the predatory chain in the savannah, and your senses are tingling like crazy. And you're so careful. While on the opposite, the Heihachi player just basically becomes a very drunk person that struggles to play basic Tekken, and you just try to do very simple things because you need, like, his very simple things become so strong. But apart from that, the character is alright. It's very strong. People doesn't say that it's that strong, but it's just because the whole roster is just too strong. But he's very strong. But overall, it doesn't have that move that feels like it's too much. Back 4, I used to think back 4, but you just don't go close to him. He cannot do. You nuke him away if you whiff this one. Brian. Now Brian, he needs two main whiffs, the two main nerfs on his moves, and he's QCF 1+2, elbow hit engager, and down back 1+2, it double punch hit engager, or the old combo ender. And that's because QCF 1+2 is basically homing. It's not full homing, but it's almost impossible to sidestep, and that gives you already too much neutral control, especially from someone that is very good that was playing into the mid range. And another thing is down back 1+2. If you manage to sidestep the first hit, the second punch realigns and hits you, and that's, in my opinion, is so bad design, such a bad design. It's something that is all recorded in all Tekken 8, is the moves realign. You may sidestep the first hit, but the second hit realign, and string as well realign. And I understand that some string might be designed to do that, and I will see that. Like his Snake Eyes string, forward 2-1-2, you know, the famous string, the 5-hit string. I understand that string, if you will have that string realigning, because it's a 5-hit string and it's like a string that consumes resources, so it makes sense. But having just a 2 button, like a down back 1+2 is a 1 button move, that once he whiffs the first one, realigns to the second one, I think it's not fun. I think he does it only on one side, but still, it should just be linear. It should just be linear, because that's basically his weakness. But yeah, or poking as well. Clive, which, well, I put here because the tier list was after it was just out, but We all know he's gonna be up here. We all know, by now we start to see that he's on the Broken Gods. But, like, definitely forward 1+2 is the move that needs to go. Like, forward 1+2 needs to be nuked. Nuked. The move is just so fucked up. And as well his Titan. His Titan should have less range and should be just way more unsafe. If you want to keep it to have his long range, because it's the archetype of the character, just put way less, like, worse frames. Because -14 on tip range, -13 is so far, and he clips you from so far away that Fang's shoulder whiffs. It is not that Fang's shoulder doesn't reach there in time, because that's the case as well. No, he completely whiffs on tip range. So that's too much. That's way too much for such a strong power crush that powers up if he absorbs on it. And apart from that, his wall carry is a bit too much, I think, especially from having a mechanic like Zantetsuken, which does basically unscale damage, and Zantetsuken as well. Yeah, he has a bit more stuff than his work, and it's probably because it's just been released and they overtuned it. I think they overtuned it a bit on purpose, but we are not given to know that. Fang, what does Fang need nerfed? I've been playing the guy for a while. What does Fang need nerf? It's more, I think it's more about a general thing. It's a bit general toning down. Not much. I think people consider him way stronger than he actually is. Because, like, it's harder to pilot than most of these guys. Like, these guys are also, most of these guys above him, they're way easier to use. Because again, like, it's very simple. His commands are very simple. It doesn't have high execution stuff, no. But at the end of the day, it's about using the right tool at the right time, in the right situation. It's not just pressing random buttons and things happen, pulling out the chainsaws and just use that powerful tool that you have. Stuff like this. It's not about that. You need to know what to use and when. And generally speaking, all the stuff that he has is super strong. It's super strong. His lows are super strong, but they're all unsafe. Even his down 4 in this game is unsafe. So yeah, I think there is not a move, like one thing that I would say is too much. There is no. Someone would say back 3, but it's one of the few very strong plus frame tools that you have, and it's super sidesteppable. So no. For her, chainsaws, like chainsaws, he needs to consume heat, and yeah, chainsaws. Fucking chainsaws. Patricide Fist, you should not be tracking to the left. Demon Paw should not be tracking at all. And that's it. Then it's fine. You should just be removed from the game. For Victor, Victor, I think, is a ground stab move that does that eruption and does like 1,000,000 chip damage, and it follows you. You know, it basically, if you sidewalk when he does the move in it, he's just basically gonna just draw a circle and fall into the ground, because it just he stabs the ground and then just rotates following you. It's magnetic. That's so stupid to me, even just to see. I really don't like that. Apart from that, is as well his mix-up it's just so stupid as a character. I'm sorry. I can understand you might like the design or anything or how he fights, yeah, but what he does on a mechanical level is just not fun. It's just not fun at all. Air hit smash, like getting a full mix up on it should not exist. Like getting plus frame and then doing a hit smash, you hit with the hit smash and then you have to hit another mix up. It's just wrong design. Wrong design. No one should get that much momentum and free and power for nothing. No one. Claudio is powered up Dragon Punch is one of the strongest moves in the game, like arguably way too strong. For the rest, he is fine. I think Claudio is quite fair. He's very strong, and I think it's part as well for how easy he is to pilot that. Apart from this Dragon Punch, the rest is alright because he's Warren Su is duckable. You can hard read it, but he's as well sidesteppable. His knee is sidesteppable. It's quite linear when he approaches you. So yeah, you don't want to challenge him when he's too far away when he approaches you because his approaching tools are very strong. But at the same time, you have way around these approaching tools. Shaheen, how simple is to chain the guard break and looping into the guard break is not fun. Absolutely not fun. I think that one should be a bit nerfed, the guard break, and that's it. And that's it. There are other, like, it's not. I don't want to list all the nerfs that a character need. I don't want to do that because as well, I think that a lot of these characters, especially this tier here, not this force, this tier here, they draw their strength from how basically they get advantage by the mechanics of the game, rather than how their single individual tools are strong. Some of them. So yeah. Low is 1-1-1 needs to go. That's like, this is the instance. This is the instance where it's not the mechanic of the game that makes him strong. It's the fact that he's 1-1-1. His 10 frame is the G-Clef. His 10 frame counter it dash or it engager. Launches. He full launches. That's something that should not exist. His one doesn't launch. He gives you a follow-up. That's fine. It doesn't launch. His one does not launch as well. His one does not launch, guys. So yeah, that's something that absolutely needs to go. And well, I would like to see the DSS being a bit more difficult to do, or having less reward to do something that is no execution requiring at all. That's, yeah, it gets way too much. It gets away from murder with that whole forward DSS. But I think it's 1-1-1-1 is the first thing that pops in my mind that is like completely off the charts. King, what is down for 1-1? The best counter hit string in the game, stronger than Brian. That one should be, well, a bit more strict to confirm. It's way easier. It's way easier than his sidestep 2-1 to confirm, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And as well, his muscle armor should be counter-hitable with lows when he gets clipped. Because his muscle armor is the only power crush that saves you from low. It's basically a rage art armor. And I see he's with the archetype of the character, he absorbs damage. Yeah, but he has way too many power crushes already. And having even that one that basically you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything when you muscle armor. Okay, it's not like he starts to muscle armor a lot and you start to do low, so you know he starts to think about muscle armor, he starts to place it better. No. Actually, no. Muscle armor, you do a low, you muscle armor. That's it. That's way too much. I don't like it. That's a bit with Tekken 8, everything is a bit too much. Kuma, well, apart his spike damage, well, we all know his electric needs to go off. His electric is way too much. You should basically be allowed to do 2-3 electrics. That's it. 2 if you hit engage, 3 if you hit engage, 2 if you just hit burst. That's it. You cannot spam the move. That move is too strong. You want to use it mindfully. Mindfully. You throw one, you move around, you throw your second one. You try to bait it out. But you want to use your brain. Not just mindlessly shitting electric around. That's not healthy. Dragunov, at the end of the day, I mean, I see way much human now, because his best homing tool is being destroyed, and now he has weaknesses. I know what to do against him. I have a chance. If you think a move that is still too strong though is QCF4 is still too strong, and that's because that move is so absurd that on block, on normal block, gives you more frame than when you hit dash. Because that move is +6 on block, and is +5 if you hit dash on block. Which is insane! If you think about that as a concept, that does not work. It's math that is not mathing. It's so weird. But for the rest, the character is in a way better spot than he was a couple of months ago, if you think. And you see as well online how many Dragunovs do you find now. And now he is fighting against Dragunov now. Feels way better, doesn't it? It's a nice feeling. But yeah, and Yoshi, mainly Yoshi just need to be way less damaging. And he's actually not, he's 4-1+2. He's pancake flip, sword, homing, hit engager, hit dash, whatever, perfect move. That one and the damage are the two things. Apart from that, yeah, it's alright. I mean, it's not alright because it's game breaking, but as well, people place him here as the strongest, but again, it's very difficult to deal with him in rank, but if you see them at the highest level, in Tekken World Tour Final, there was no Yoshi, there were no Yoshis. I think in the Tom 32, the only Yoshi we saw was Farzin when he decided to pull it out against Ulsan, but that's it. So yeah, no one is playing Yoshi because it's very difficult to pilot. It's not granted that you can place flash and everything. People knows, especially on a certain level, you bait the flash out. So the bad Yoshis, they just explode. You give them plus frame. So you take your plus frame, but you know he's gonna flash, and you just destroy him, explode him. Nina needs a very general tuned down, like she needs to be toned down a lot. But I think if I think about a move that is too much from her, is her blonde bomb. -14 mid hit engager, super fast. Feels too much. Her blonde bomb was arguably the strongest power crush in the game. Now it's clearly not, because we have Titan. But it feels like I still don't see it, like, and again, I have power crush, I don't see it as much as a problem because mainly I play Brian, so I can launch it. But her power crush is insanely strong. But that's again, that move is generally so strong because it's the kind of mechanical problem of Tekken 8 of accepting power crushes hit engagers. She has one, he has one, I think he has one, Fang has one. That should not be a thing, period. Power crush hit engagers should never be a thing. It's not fun. It's absolutely not fun. But that's the move that I think, like, if I think Nina, what is too strong, like, she needs a general tone down, but Blonde Bomb is the move that clicks in my mind. Jin, if I have to think only one move of Jin that needs to be nerfed, that I will nerf, is so difficult because, like, my brain, I don't have enough RAM in my brain to compute and find the move. There are too many. But definitely down 2. Like, you wanna leave it. But definitely down 2. You wanna leave it country launcher like this for free? Well, nice. It's launch punishable. But it's not -15, something like -16. Okay? Something like -16. That everyone can launch. Or 214, to be honest as well. 214 is disgusting, especially at the WOD. 214 is it's the best free hit string in the game. It's just way too much. Is Demon Paw as well. It should not track at all. His Samsara should be as punishable as him. His dive kick should be unsafe or less safe or something less. Like, all his moves should be in general less. He's insanely strong, this guy. It's insane. Like, to my eyes, this guy is just even, like, arguably you can put him on a fucking tier on his own. On ranked game. On consumer player base. On pro players, I can see when they say, yeah, this is very strong, his lows are very strong, are very fast, but they are partially reactable, so they put it on the normal tier. If you're a normal human being and you cannot react to most of his lows, he can arguably be on his own here. But yeah, that's it. And I know someone might think that basically like, it's like this, you will destroy the game and everyone will become weak and everything, but just especially if you consider about these guys, it's more about to create more more interesting, to show more interesting side of the characters rather than seeing just one move. No, it's not that these characters don't need maybe help in some other departments. I'm just saying that they have moves. Almost everyone in this game has moves that just overtake everything of their move list. Anyway, now for me, it's time to go to the gym. Thank you so much for stopping by. And be the jam, you've been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!